And we are back. Gmac and Winnie coming at you with another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
Who was that?
The Verve.
Okay, not familiar to me, but it sounds like a good song.
It'll tie in, funnily enough, which I did not know this.
It will tie.
It will tie right into our top five today.
Oh, perfect.
That is wild. I did not know that until you just said that.
See,
I was
we're
not
on
even
these different wavelengths at all times.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just came in from a football game, so that's why I'm late getting here. But it is what it is. It gave us time to kind of.
Yep.
People don't understand. Like, this isn't like where we plot them out and plot them. This is like these are happening.
This is like, hey, tomorrow night at 6, maybe. Yeah, let me check. Hold on, I'll let you know in the morning. Okay, yeah, are we good?
Yeah, like we have a career that doesn't allow us to just be. Right. Hey, we're always going to be able to be there at this time.
We're going to be back on a better schedule in January.
Yeah,
I can promise you that.
So that
because I'm going back.
Yeah. So that happens, but the other part of the difficulty that people may or may not understand in this dynamic is we're at 200 shows. We're at 4 years.
Right.
And our layout is like, our top fives. And we never really cataloged, where we're going to have to start cataloging, like, what have we done, what we have not done.
Correct.
Because then, you get this idea, or somebody will give you an idea. Hey, why don't you do the top 5 vacation places? We just did it.
Right. It's like, and at this point, it's hard to go back through the 200 episode Rolodex in your mind.
Right.
And did we exactly do that one? Do we do something too close? Can we? Nah, fuck. We got to do something else.
Right. So you get these.
Formatting the show is easy. We know which way we want to go. It's getting the content for the fucking subject.
Right. And we're limited to what we can talk about as well.
Right.
Based on our career that we can't talk about. So when you get in these moments, you're like, well, what are we talking about? What are we not? And a lot of TV, a lot of movies. We haven't really touched 80s movies in a long time. So that'll be like a genre. 90s we haven't really done.
This is what I would love to be able to do. We have our mutual friend who keeps insisting she's not going to come on the show.
Yeah.
But we should bring her on for an 80s show. She was a true 80s kid.
Yeah.
She was graduating.
Well, yeah, anybody from that time frame would be ideal. That was one thing. Now, why in your absence, when I had other people fill in, I still did all the work.
Right.
But top 5 was easier because I made it like specific about
yes,
whatever.
If you do it about a certain person
or a certain thing, like when my sister was here, was John Candy's scenes, movie scenes. So because we were both John Candy fans, but we've sat across from each other for 100 and whatever minus the last 13 episodes.
Right.
So for 140 something episodes and 40 interviews, we're just like top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5 beers. We did that when you were down to see your dad.
Right.
So you get in this thing, like, people are like, well, top 5 anything's easy. What, top 5 toothpaste?
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
We just got a catalog.
You can make a top 5 list of anything you want.
Right.
But it's going to be entertaining. And that's what you really want to get back to.
Right. And like I said, once we get like a cataloged a little bit better, it'll be all right.
Maybe it's something we consider shelving for a couple of weeks here and there, or make it a monthly thing where we do our top 5s again.
Right.
Because it'll keep the content fresh. And it's just, I think people look forward to it because it's always a conversation starter.
It's actually water cooler talk.
It
ends up for people that we know that are fans of the show, that they have these conversations and it turns into bigger conversations in other places.
Right.
They're like, oh, we were at work and we were arguing over, no way does so-and-so belong above so-and-so.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit. It's cool that you can make people have conversations like that.
Yeah.
One thing, go ahead.
I was going to say, I had the worst, I don't know, it was a nightmare for sure, a dream last night. That I literally, partially probably because I'm a fat fuck and I was on my back, woke up gasping for air. But I was in my grandparents' house on Pop's house.
Yeah.
The old house on Simmons Drive there. And I was in what was his bedroom looking out the window.
Yep.
and I saw a tsunami coming down Simmons Drive.
Wow.
The house.
That's wild.
And it crashed into the house, and I go out to the hallway, and I look, and the water's rising. Dude, it was, I'm happy I woke up, because that shit's
That's one of those when you wake up and you're like, oh, God, thank God.
Yeah, oh, God, thank God. I get to bed. It wasn't no water there, but I pissed in bed.
Yeah.
So it was freaky.
Did you have anything different in your diet? Because you know
right.
my thing.
I know. Well, I had Chipotle, and I don't eat it a lot, so I spent the first half of the evening in the other room, and then when I went to bed, maybe it did.
You were driving a porcelain school bus, were you?
I was for quite a while, in fact. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That wasn't the only weird part of the dream. That was a scary
layers.
Part of the dream. Yeah, it was layers, because then it became the water receded. We got outside. You were there, and we're trying to find vehicles that'll run because they were just soaked with water. We found one that would start. We're trying to go, and now all of a sudden we're watching everything crystallize outside. It's freezing. Everything.
So it's freezing
now
over?
Freezing around us. Fucking strange.
Wow.
Now
were the Dementors there?
I watched The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, that's why.
Like 3 days ago. In that scene, I could.
Did you take some like cold medicine or something? And that maybe that's what fucked you up?
The night before, I had taken some. I really wasn't feeling good that night. But last night, I didn't take anything. Just normal shit. It was weird.
Well, you know me. If I drink green tea, I'm riding a fucking dragon with Patrick Mahomes on the back, and I'm fighting people off with a spaghetti noodle. I don't. It's fucked up.
Yeah,
green tea fucks me up. You know this.
I do.
For years, I'm like, I cannot drink that shit.
Oh, green tea.
Well, it just happened not long ago. Remember in the spring, I gave you all them bags of
That's
teas
right.
because I was like, I'm like, I'll just try it again, and I was all weird shit too.
Some people, it's like drugs to help you quit smoking. You, it's green tea. So
yeah,
me, it's Chipotle.
Yeah. So before we get into our normal segments and stuff, we're getting to a point where we're big enough where we need to start monetizing in other ways.
Yeah, definitely.
I would like to see, and if you're listening to this, just give us some feedback. You can hit us on any of our social medias,
right,
or our messengers personally. You know, we're toying around with the idea of doing a what's it called?
Like a subscription, a Patreon.
Yeah, a Patreon type thing, a subscription where it might be like anywhere from $1 to like $3 a month.
Right.
Just to, now we have a studio, we have overhead.
Yeah, we're trying to offset the cost of doing this and help keeping it comfortable for us to do it.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to need upgrades. The computer's it's been on its last leg for how long now, so.
Yeah, I mean, and then like just the production value. Like we went from nothing to like now it's getting better. It's clearer. We just had to upgrade our streaming service, which we weren't anticipating, and that's another nut to crack.
Right,
so
it doubled in price.
Doubled.
Oh, more?
4 times the amount we were paying.
Oh, Jesus.
So, you know what I mean? Like when you get to these moments, it's just like you got to find a way to, you got to find a way to start bringing stuff in. And,
absolutely.
And I think we have enough fan base that listens religiously that will offset it.
Yeah, I do too.
At least some.
Yep.
And then I'd like to, if anybody out here that listens to us does merch, I'd like to get like a merchandise thing because we come up with some cool slogans and cool T-shirt ideas and shit. And that's kind of how you can back it.
Yeah. By
making these shirts and selling them. So if anybody wants to partner up with us on that, that'll be good to go. But we got some other people in the works and talks right now. So
cool, man.
All right. So what made you roll into that? What made you come up with this?
Scrolling through ideas for top 5s. Actually, top 10 lists are more common. And I saw this one. I'm like, well, we've covered actual shows, we've covered movies, but we've never covered individual characters.
Right.
So I figured let's one rock for the week.
All right. This week's top 5, the top 5 greatest TV series characters.
Yes.
You want to start? Or you want me to start?
I'll start us off. Number 5 from Cheers. Everybody's favorite fat guy.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew he had to be on your
Norman
list.
Peterson.
It depends on what you like in TV, right?
Right.
So he's definitely one of the greatest characters in TV history.
He's an ancillary extra character, but everybody watched Cheers every week.
Everybody would go, Norm!
Wanting to see Norm come in to see what he would say.
Yeah.
And he had some serious storylines along the way, but he was always at the end of the corner of the bar.
He always made the show happy. If you ever noticed that, nobody ever came out and was like, Norm.
No.
They were all happy to see Norm.
Yeah. They were not so happy to see Cliff, but they were happy to see Norm.
Cliff was the mailman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Norm Peterson is my number 5.
All right. My number 5, Alex Moran, the quarterback from Blue Mountain State.
Okay.
He coined the phrase trickle-down banging. He goes, I came here to party. I don't want to learn all that football stuff. And then it's trickle-down banging. I'm the second string. I don't even have to work that hard, and it's just going to come to me.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It is a good theory.
It is.
If you want to be lazy,
just let it come to you.
Just let it come to you. Yeah.
All right. My number 4, Lucy Ricardo, Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball, very iconic.
Yeah.
I didn't really think in that direction, but yeah.
We were kids.
Lucy. Yeah.
We were kids every sick day, every...
black and white. I love Lucy.
Right. Every sick day, every holiday, vacation breaks. Fox 5 out of New York, that was Lucy was on every morning for an hour.
Yeah. Yes.
I watched it all the time.
Yeah. You know what we did? Well, no, I can't say that because I do.
Okay.
But I'll get to it. I'll get to it later.
But Lucy, the iconic show, the Vita Vea Benjamin and Stomping the Grapes. There's so many legendary.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm a weird guy. A lot of people that know me know that. I loved later in the series when they moved to California.
Yeah.
It just was a whole refreshing of the series.
Yeah.
And then Ethel and Fred moved out there too.
Right.
But it was cool. And I've always been a big Lucille Ball fan. So
did you watch the movie on Hulu or whatever they did about it?
I have. There's 2.
There's 2. One's on Prime.
I think
the other
so.
one's on
Netflix, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. All right. My number 4, Coach Hayden Fox from Coach. He was a dad with a troubled relationship with his daughter, and then he starts dating a very famous newscaster.
Yeah.
He was a loyal friend. He always brought his crew with him to Luther. He was cool. He was funny. He was sly. He won a national championship where he pretended Bo Whitley was hurt, and then he came out and played in the second half. He
awesome.
Sat in a wheelchair, fully, So he was just he had these qualities about him that were very similar to another guy.
Yeah.
He was rough around the edges, but if you really got into the center of it, he meant well. Always meant well.
Yep.
And he was a great coach.
Yes, he was.
And he even went to Miami, and he took everybody with him to Miami. Yeah. And then, the show ultimately ends in the greatest way possible. He goes back to his cabin in Minnesota, and he's back to Minnesota State coaching.
Can't beat it. My number 3, Jerry Seinfeld.
He wasn't on my list. This is weird. When you hear my list, you're going to be like, what? How'd you leave him off? As much as I watch Seinfeld and quote Seinfeld and all that.
He was the one guy that real life Jerry and character Jerry were very similar.
Very similar.
Like life imitated art, art imitated life.
Right.
And I think that's what made his character a very unique character.
Yes, I agree.
Jerry Seinfeld was a real life comedian. On the show, he was a comedian, and he was still Jerry Seinfeld.
Right.
So
it's a show about nothing.
It is a show about nothing.
Yeah, and if you watch that show, that's why it's so relatable and replayable.
Right.
Because it's literally just funny shit about everyday life, like standing online at the Chinese, waiting for Chinese food.
Right. They're going to get soup.
Yeah, going to the dry cleaner.
Right. Anything.
Right.
Everybody's got a Kramer to some extent. Everybody's got what the heck was
a George, or Elaine.
Yeah, Putty.
La la la. Hello. He leaves the girlfriend because of the voice he wants to do. Yeah, she's a close talker. Yada yada yada. All that stuff came off of that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good choice.
All right.
My number 3, Jimmy McNulty from The Wire.
See, I've never seen a lot of The Wire. I've seen episodes here and there. Yeah. You've always been a huge fan.
Yeah, here's something you're going to laugh at because it's how it resonates with me. Again, rough around the edges, great detective, really good cop.
Yeah.
He's a dad that he's an alcoholic. I mean, that part doesn't, but he's a dad who wants to do the right thing, but he's so into his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's a phenomenal cop. And his famous line is always, "What the fuck did I do?" After he winds everybody up.
that definitely fits somebody. Yeah, absolutely.
It gets everybody right, like, you fucking asshole. What the fuck did I do? I'll have to show you a montage that they do of it from the show. It's hilarious.
All right, cool. Number 2, Archie Bunker.
Yeah, Arch. Yeah.
And my 2 and my 1, it was hard to place Archie 2, only because I have such an affinity.
Listen here, meathead.
Is there not anybody that has been? He's hysterical. He's rough around the edges,
but sincere.
And emotional.
Loved his wife.
Episodes that make you laugh your ass off, and you're like, you could not get away with the shit they said then. Now,
no, but in the same time, you could be laughing in 1 minute and crying in the next.
Right. To me, the saddest episode ever was right when Edith passed away.
Yeah,
and he's sitting in the bedroom.
Yeah,
dude. Every time I see that episode, I cry.
You sent that to me when we talked about some of the greatest scenes in history.
It's emotional.
And he's in there, and it wasn't his sock. Something was under the bed, and he finds it. Yeah, and he has a breakdown. Yeah, that's a jump off the type fucking.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's tugging at every heartstring.
Yeah.
Another Carroll O'Connor thing that comes up all the time is what was the show where he was the cop? Do you remember?
Oh fuck.
Oh man.
Quincy Jones?
No, that was shit. I forget.
He was a detective.
He was a detective. Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Still the Night.
Still the Night.
He was the cop, and there's even stuff on that, and you see the same quote on TikTok all the time. They have this guy. They have this guy under arrest, and they're questioning him.
Yeah. And
the one detective says something, and the guy's like, "Yeah, and and then I had sex with her," and he goes, "But she's retarded."
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like a little bit of Archie leaks into the character.
Yeah.
I had to. It's not.
You sent me that too.
But I'm telling you, it's freaking hysterical.
Well, you're laughing
because TikTok idiots linking to the dumbest shit.
It's not supposed to.
It's not supposed to be funny, but the way they use it's fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
So Carroll O'Connor, probably one of the most appreciated actors of all time. Yes.
Okay. All right, so that's your 2. My number 2, Peter Griffin.
All right.
Well,
he's a lead character.
He is, and you got to remember what he pulled me out of. Yeah. I was in a very, very, very dark place, and Peter Griffin pulled me out of it.
He did.
But here's the thing about him, and let's be fair. He's funny. He's as smart as he is dumb.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's clever, but he's an idiot.
Right.
He's a terrible dad, but he's a great dad.
All at the same time.
You know what I mean?
Shitty friend, great friend.
Great friend. He
great ideas, terrible ideas.
He has these great qualities about him that are also a fucking detriment to everybody.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And another one who could pretty much go, well, what the fuck did I do?
Right.
You know?
Oh, there was a good one recently. It showed Aaron Rodgers going down, and then it cuts to the Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
I'm like, motherfucker.
Yep. So that's my number 2.
All right, my number 1.
I knew this was going to be yours.
Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini, to me, will always be one of the best.
Most annoying eater I've ever seen in my life.
Very loud eater. Yes. Now they say that you read
I lived with Tony Soprano's had to be daughter. For 6 years she ate like that.
Oh my god. But they said that, he was such the professional to get himself into the scenes where he had to explain to do anger. He would literally punch the shit out of stuff to get himself fired up to go do those scenes. Everything, the breathing patterns, everything was calculated in the way he portrayed that character.
Yeah.
And I don't think they could do 1,000 more mob shows. There'll never be one to beat Tony Soprano.
I agree. Yeah, like once you do it, like everything after that's like
Right.
a rip off version of whatever. Because you got to think, we saw Mob in the movies. It was never really a TV show,
Right.
and he was different than any of the mobsters in the movies.
Think about in Try to be a great dad was a horrible dad.
Right.
Try to be a good husband was a shitty husband. Try to be a good leader was a terrible leader. It had every.
He was a good leader.
Yeah, but then he would sell people out too. Think of the way Christopher died. They have the car accident. He admits to Tony that he was high. He plugs his fucking nose and kills him.
Yeah, well,
Dead.
I mean, that doesn't mean you're a bad leader.
No, not per
that
se.
Means
you're fucking cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, but you're protecting the name there.
Yeah.
Listen, but here's the thing. But that was the thing. That guy was getting high, and
right.
when you're like that, you might slip up and cost everybody their.
Right.
That's why.
Now I'm trying to. I think it's. It might be Columbus Day weekend. There's a Paramount Theater down in Westchester. Michael Imperioli, Vinny Pastore, and Fabio Bacala, Steve Sherpa are doing a open. They're sitting and talking to the crowd, and you guys can ask questions.
Oh, nice!
Shit. I may go. I got to see how much tickets are.
Well, you better get on it because it's in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
10 days. Maybe.
Yeah, there's still a shitload of tickets available.
So. Oh, good. All right, and my number one, Ari Gold, Entourage.
Yeah, I knew Entourage was making its way.
Yeah, and it was close because it was either going to be E, who kind of managed the whole thing, or Ari. Ari, very similar to a lot of my other traits that I like. He's a super agent, but he was a bully.
Right.
But he was a bully, but he didn't mean. He would say the most ludicrous, vicious, vile shit. But it came from a place of he would say something to like, I'm gonna skull fuck you to whatever, and then he would get that person a job at the top of any agency.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he was always like, there was always a lesson behind the shit he would do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The delivery may have not been so poignant.
He was like,
the message.
Yeah. They're like, the shit you say to people, did you tell somebody that they're gonna you know?
Yeah.
He's like, but that's what I do. This is what we say in the office. Like, he never thought like it was bad because he knew what the ultimate intentions were behind it.
Right.
He would never not help somebody get to the next level.
He saw the end game.
So his guy Lloyd, who worked for him, he had to quit. He wasn't on his desk and he was gay. And then he calls and he's like, whatever his boyfriend's name was, I don't know, Sal. He calls Sal and and Sal's like, no, I didn't. Not because he's working hours, because Lloyd cheated on me. And he goes, what? No, he didn't. And he lies for him right there on the spot. He's like, Lloyd was out with customers last night, with clients, getting them. We're trying to sign these guys to a new TV deal. So he's like, are you shitting me, Ari? Don't lie to me. He goes, no. He goes, I'm telling you, Lloyd was working. And he hangs up and he goes, you Yoko Ono little whore, Lloyd. You're out cheating on Sal? He goes, you can't cheat on Sal. He goes, Ari, you cheat all the time. He goes, no, I don't. I hate cheaters, Lloyd. I love liars. I hate cheaters. You know what I mean? So, like, it's weird that there's a code.
Right.
Like, lie like a motherfucker, but you don't step over that line.
Right.
And throughout the show, he'd be like, yeah, I was banging so-and-so. He never was. He was so loyal to his wife. And when him and his wife split up, he was devastated.
Right.
And he would do anything to come back to that. You know, so you got to see the human side after you saw all the fucking vile.
Yeah, all the awful shit.
So that's why he was like one of the greatest characters of TV history.
Cool. I like that top five.
That was a fun top five. A very fun top five.
Yep. Agreed.
I have a future one though right now. Just keep it in your memory bank. The top five, we've done whatever. The top five opening scenes to a TV show.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it takes
if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I Love Lucy was just a heart and it said, I love Lucy. So that one's out.
Yep.
But like when you think about like Laverne and Shirley.
Right. Putting the glove on the bottle.
Yeah.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
All the different spots. And the song.
Have you listened? Okay, so we're done with our top five, but have you seen the Meadow Soprano, their podcast? AJ and Meadow have a podcast.
They actually have one?
They have a podcast together.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Now I got something to listen to. I'm just listening to Rob Van Dam's.
Yeah, it's and I feel terrible for not knowing their names off the top of my head.
Robert Eiler
and Jamie Lynn Sigler have one together.
Awesome.
And it's under Your Mama's House, which is
that was hers.
Kreischer.
Oh,
no, it's Kreischer and
okay.
Yeah, it's Tom Segura and his wife's.
Right.
And Bert Kreischer. They do Two Bears, One Cave. So like how we have, In the Huddle and
right
all the honor. Yeah, so okay. That's how theirs is. Nice. So look them up. It's actually pretty good.
Cool.
All right.
It's funny because Robert Eiler hasn't. I said Jamie Lynn Sigler. They haven't done much since The Sopranos. So
no, and they kind of went in on it a little.
For him to come out and talk again, Robert Eiler didn't say shit because he's like, I was a kid and that was that, and I'm leaving it there.
He talks about how he went to high school and nobody even knew because nobody watched HBO.
Wow.
But the teacher, he goes, I'd get thrown out of class and go down, and the principal would be like, "Yo, AJ, what'd you do?"
Oh shit, no way.
Yeah.
All right,
he goes, so the teachers thought it was cool. He was cool, and the kid, he goes, it wasn't even like I was getting any pussy out of the deal. He goes, nobody knew.
That's awesome.
Teenagers didn't watch it at that time. Right. He goes, I was 12 years old, little fat kid. People knew me. I didn't know.
That's cool.
All right, you ready to move along? All right. All right. 5 crazy questions sponsored by Scalable Computers via Winnie.
Yes, sir. Number 1, pick a torture method that's going to be used on you.
Oh.
It's either an itch in the middle of your back that you can't reach, pre-sneeze nose tickle where you're like, kind of start to and it goes away, or the throat tickle that comes before you start coughing.
The itch in the middle of my back. I drove probably like 75 laps with one of them one time.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And you're in a seat and you can't move.
Where are you going?
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
You just got to hope. Like
I was literally hoping. I was just going to say, I was literally trying to angle sweat down and run over it.
That's awful.
Like under caution, I'm loosening the belts and kind of doing this in the seat. Trying to get it to just a flat spot.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. So I'll take the itch in the middle of the back because that sneeze would drive me nuts. And what was the other one? Oh, the tickle in the throat. Right. I can't deal with it.
No, I hate the cough. And think about that, doing that for 2 hours, what your chest is going to feel like.
Yeah.
Your abs.
No.
You'll leave with a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Number 2, you have an impending death. You are going to die.
Oh, I have an impending
death.
Yes.
Okay. These are the 2 ways it's going to happen. Choose the one you'd rather do.
Oh, boy.
This is straight out of my dream. You're standing on the shore watching a tsunami come at you.
Yeah.
So it could be 2 miles out and you see this giant crested wave.
Okay.
Or you accidentally slip and fall in a volcano. And it's only from a couple feet up, so you're done.
Yeah, no, I think the drowning thing would happen faster.
Yeah, I don't know.
Volcano, you're gonna burn all the way up until you fuck that. That wave's going to hit you and probably knock you out. Because think of the force. The force right. Of the water.
It could knock you into something that's going to kill you.
Right.
So you're going to tsunami.
Yeah.
Deal with the impending.
Listen, you probably have 0 chance in either.
Right.
But especially a tsunami. But maybe by chance you get fucking and you get tossed up into the air. Volcano, that's just burning you to death.
You're done.
You're Darth Vader.
You are Darth Vader. Nobody's coming to save you either.
You're not putting.
Yeah, no rebreather.
Nope.
All right, number 3. So you can either have a NASCAR vehicle, so a stock car.
Yeah.
Smoke its rear tire against your shin.
Oof.
Or jam your foot into the propeller of a slow-moving fishing trawler. You have a buyout option here.
Okay.
You pay $1,000 and Bubba Watson hits the tip of your dick with a 7-iron. Full swing.
A foot in the slow propeller.
I agree. I think it's going to cause a gouge, but it's probably not going to cut your fucking leg off.
Right.
That tire's taking you down to bone.
Yeah. I mean, look what a little bike tire would do to you back in the day.
Right. And the tip of
no.
That's going to sting, boy.
Yeah. Sting. That thing's going to be bruised. Every time you piss for the next 6 months, it's going to hurt.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking that chance.
All right, good. Number 4.
And I'm Irish, bro. If he's hitting the tip of my dick, he's hitting me in the balls too.
He's treated like a sand trap.
Yeah.
Number 4. You go back in time to save the world from Hitler, using one of yours from last week.
Okay.
But you're going to be known for the following things instead. The world will never know you got rid of Hitler.
Okay.
They're going to know you as the guy who super kicked baby versions of Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and an adult Michael J. Fox, and you super kicked Stephen Hawking clean out of his wheelchair.
Do I do it?
You do. You're going to be known as the guy that did all 4 of them.
If I go back in time and
you save Hitler, or if you get rid of Hitler.
At what point in Hitler's life?
Before he has a chance to. He's a teenager. He's an older teenager.
All right. So here's the thing I got to say though. It's so easy to say. Obviously, yeah, you're going to go back in time and do it.
Right.
But the butterfly effect of all that is why you can't do it.
Right. You don't know what you set forth after that.
Right.
And then to be known to be the person that super kicked 3 people that
Gandhi, Mother Teresa.
Yeah, 2 people for world peace, a guy who was wheelchair bound, and then Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Like, it's easy to sit there and go, well, yeah, of course you do. No, you don't know. Because if you go back there and then it's not, you know what I mean? You go back there and you take them out. Right. Go, what the fuck did you do that for? That was all just propaganda. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Or what if Hitler had a buddy that was more fucking evil than him?
Right. Like, and he offed that guy. And otherwise, you know, you come back and now everybody's speaking German because that dude was way more evil.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what
you don't know.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. So I had 4 pretty dark ones. So number 5 is nice and easy.
Okay.
Apple crisp, apple pie, or Boston cream pie.
I rather apple crisp.
Okay.
I mess with a lot of my friends that have kids that have
fucking asshole.
and tell them I hope they don't like them. And that's all. I'll leave that there. You've heard me tell this to somebody.
Yes.
You heard me tell that to somebody.
Yes.
Very recently.
Yeah.
No, apple crisp. Apple pies are good, but there's something about the apple. I like the crispy top to it.
Are you ever a slice of cheddar cheese on an apple pie? Because I've seen that done a lot too.
No.
I think that's so weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong.
It's like putting cheese on your apple when you bite it.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck
and I've seen people, like for a snack, have an apple and cubes of cheese. To me, the two don't go together.
No.
Where do you want spaghetti and milk?
I'm with it.
Are you really?
Cold spaghetti the next day and milk.
Not hot with fresh sauce.
No.
That's just fucking super strange.
That's redneck shit.
It is redneck shit.
Yeah, that's 100% redneck shit. But you give me like I'm big on cold spaghetti with sauce the next day, and a glass of milk.
Yeah,
I'm big on that. Like, you know that about me, right? Like, I don't like sauce on my spaghetti.
Really?
It's butter and cheese.
Always.
Yeah, and then if I have a second plate or if it's cold, then I'll put the sauce from like my mom always used to do the meat sauce. She'd cook the meat in the pan and all that. I would put that on the next day cold and eat it like that with a glass of milk and still butter the shit out of some bread.
And dip away.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, it's the best
part. So good.
To me, that is the best part.
It is. It really is.
I wish you could go to a restaurant and just order that. Can I have a bowl of sauce and a loaf of bread?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, just give me a baguette.
Yeah, I'm happy.
And a whole fucking stick of butter and we're good.
We're good.
All right. You ready to move along?
Yep.
I think this is what we're going to. We have done before. Over and Under, sponsored by Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, presented by Winnie.
Yes, sir. Number 1, all things pumpkin spice.
Fucking overrated.
Dude, you were going to say it.
Overrated.
Is there anything pumpkin spice that you actually like?
No, I don't even like the fucking smell of the candles that they have.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin pie is not pumpkin spice. Pumpkin pie is pumpkin pie. Period.
Okay.
Pumpkin ice cream is pumpkin ice cream. Delicious. That fucking pumpkin spice bullshit that's going on now? Absolutely not.
No, okay. Number 2, Coach Prime.
Underrated for what he's doing. Overall, he's underrated.
Okay.
Like he's a very good motivator.
Outstanding motivator.
But you can clearly see there's a lot of hype.
I think there's a lot of learning, and he tries to cover that.
He knows how.
The hype show.
Right.
Right.
Like smoke and mirrors can make people believe something, and now you're in a dogfight, and that's all you got to get is in a dogfight, and then you got a chance.
Now, will that be a program that's going to grow?
Listen, I'll say this. I think if he's there for 5 years, because you know how it takes about 4 years to get your players in.
Correct.
Their linemen aren't at the caliber yet of other big programs. So if you ask me this question in 4 or 5 years and he's still at Colorado, I'll say 100% underrated.
Okay.
Unless he stinks it up for the next few years.
Right.
But with his NIL abilities and all these things, I think you're going to see more kids be willing to go to Colorado to play, and especially if he can get some of the real big dudes out of the Midwest
to go there.
To go there.
Right.
Yep.
I'll give you 2 guys on that one. Shedeur Sanders.
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Underrated. Very smart.
Okay. NFL quality?
It's so hard. There's a very particular brand of quarterback that works in the NFL.
Now, how big is he?
I think he's like 6'2". Okay. Well, here's the thing.
But he's not Anthony Richardson size.
No.
And that, to run the style of offense I think you would want to run, you've got to be a bigger guy.
Yeah. The thing, I'm trying to look. Here's the thing. He's 6'2".
Okay.
So the thing about, people don't realize, like, everybody, you always thought Deion Sanders was small and this and that.
Right. He's not.
The video, the man's like, what's Deion got to be, about 55?
Yeah.
So he's about 55 years old, and he's at the weight room when he first comes to Colorado.
Pumping.
And people were having a hard time doing the 225 for reps or whatever it was. He's like, come on, man. And he's on his little scooter. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's cold. He's not. He gets down there, and he bangs out 225 for like 8 reps. He goes, I'm 55 years old, guys. Like, this is what it takes to be in big-time football.
Right. Right. And I love the.
And I was like, whoa.
That's the honesty that these kids, that all those kids.
And I think that's what makes them underrated.
Right.
Sometimes the flashy bullshit is what makes them overrated.
Right. You take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
When you take Coach Prime.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Number 3.
And it's Coach Deion Sanders. I hate that part. You got to call him Coach Prime.
That's the aura.
No, I understand that, but come on, dude.
Even in Madden 24, which I bought, when you do your My Player scene, you're getting drafted, and you're at the draft that night, who comes in? Oh, hey, Coach Prime.
Really?
Yeah, in the game.
Wow.
Yep. Number 3, s'mores.
Underrated.
Okay.
They're messy as shit.
Yeah.
You always got, no matter what you do, if you do it right, you're going to have some marshmallow or something on your finger, but you eat them so infrequently that they're underrated. Like, if there was something that was just always every weekend you were making them,
right,
you'd be like, fuck them things. But you eat them so infrequently that they're underrated.
Okay. I can take that one. Number 4, Chicago-style pizza, deep dish pie.
Overrated.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not there to have a fucking French baguette with tomato sauce on it. You know what I mean? It's just too much. It's too much.
It's very rich.
Yeah, I've had it, and I like it, but it's overrated. Like, pizza, thin, like
New York
style pizza. Yeah, like a normal pizzas. Or even football pizzas. Pizza.
Yeah, our buddy Dave likes New Haven style.
Yeah.
Which is very much like New York style. So.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, plain yogurt.
Over fucking rated.
Disgusting.
Yeah, there's no quality about it that's remotely
it's like
good.
A bowl of sour milk.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's like clumpy milk.
Yes, it's not good at all.
There's nothing good about it.
All right.
But you throw some blueberries in that bitch, and it's delicious.
It's granola. Yeah. Number 6, Indian food as a whole.
Overrated.
Do you like any of it?
Can't stand the smell of it.
Okay. I can't either.
Nope, can't get past it.
I don't like curry.
Nope.
I had one experience with it that was not a good one, and I'm good.
It smells like a dirty diaper to me.
It's gross, and it looks like a fucking dirty diaper.
Yeah, I can't. Nope.
Number 7, Robert Saleh.
Overrated. I am not a big believer in that guy. I think Farrar kind of hits this nail on the head. Great defensive coordinator. Some people just aren't head coaches.
Great defensive coach. Good motivator. Terrible time manager.
Yeah, like when
and I'm starting to see. I would hate to say, loyal to certain players to a fault.
If you're going to say Zach Wilson, I disagree.
Oh, God, I'm just tired of watching the same old shit every
Here's
week.
the problem, though. When it's time to go down the field and put the ball in, he put the ball in. I have a lot bigger problem with the Jets' offensive coordinator right now.
Right.
You're not helping the kid when you're not using your running backs to run the ball.
If he's your quarterback, then your playbook's wide open and you run your plays.
Don't start eliminating him.
It looks like they're coaching to not lose.
Right. Let him play.
Right. I actually like the announcers that were on it this week. Was it Troy and Buck maybe? I can't remember. Maybe. But they kept saying, you've got to let the kid throw on first down.
No, it was Romo.
Oh, it was Romo. Okay.
It was Romo.
They kept saying, you've got to let the kid make throws on first down.
And then look what happened on the drive. He threw on first down and went down. I go like, Jesus Christ, Tony Romo didn't call that.
Right.
Could you imagine what Romo would be as an offensive coordinator?
Crazy good. I would think.
Right.
I would think. He's not going to get the contract he has with TV.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because of how he understands, and I know you're not going to go there, but highly underrated.
Who?
Romo was highly underrated.
Absolutely.
Undrafted to play with. A lot of people don't realize Dallas had no defense all them years. Half the years they didn't have a line.
Right.
And they were always competitive with him.
Ran for his life. Made plays. Took a beating.
Took a beating. Yep.
So, and number 8, my final one, the Rolling Stones.
For me personally at our age, overrated. I mean, they might have like 3 songs that are like fall into my world at all.
Yeah. And
if I didn't hear them because I haven't heard them, I'm like, okay.
I'm not a great fan of them at all.
Yeah, it's just.
I think it's generation or just generations before us.
Yeah, I mean, the kids in the 80s and like my
definitely
sisters,
late 70s, early 80s. That was
they were probably like the Rolling Stones, and I mean some of their iconic shit though, like the mouth with the lips.
The logos, yeah, the logo, obviously,
yeah.
And everybody knows who Mick Jagger is,
right?
Keith Richards, but yeah, give it or take it. If you're going to offer me tickets,
if I'll go. Giving me tickets, that's different.
No, maybe I'll go, but if I'm going to buy tickets, I'm going to pass.
I will say this. ELO, Electric Lights Orchestra.
Right.
Never knew them by name. Went and saw them in concert when I was in England.
Right.
Fucking underrated.
But it's an experience.
But what was wild about that was I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I even know who the fuck this band is?
You do.
And then they start playing. I'm like, oh my God, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. I know that's right on down the line. Yeah. So
to me, that's an experience more than a show.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
That's cool.
I came back and I was listening to like a lot of their music when I came back, and it's wild. Have you ever been to a show or where you like the live version better? Because a lot of live versions suck compared to how you normally hear it.
Right.
They're slow them down, they speed them up, whatever.
Unfortunately, no. But more of the Elvis stuff that I like is from his live concerts than the studio versions. Yeah.
So ELO had the violin player and the cello player and all that.
Yeah.
And when they did Showdown Live, that was so good.
Yeah.
Like we have Showdown on the board. So, and the part that I'm hooked on this is when the violin comes in, right?
Yeah.
And when you hear that live, this part. When you hear that live, it is so powerful, and it was just a better version live,
right?
And I love that song.
Like I know you hate Kiss, but
hate them.
Seeing
overrated.
And a lot of people will agree with you on that. But again, when you go to a Kiss concert, it's an experience because the shit they do during the live show. When it's time for God of Thunder, Gene's on the top of the set. He's spitting fucking blood everywhere.
Right.
You know what you're about to see, so it's
like Molly Crew
live version.
When they come out. Right. Or just, there's some people that they're a better show than they are musicians.
Yes, I can 100% agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like I saw Bruno Mars, phenomenal dude, put on a great show. That little dude didn't stop dancing, singing, playing guitar, drums, or whatever, the whole time.
But you look at Elton John, who sits at a piano the whole show,
right?
And it's phenomenal.
But his show was always his outfits,
right?
You know what I mean? Like it's wild. Like people go to see, like I mean, look at Lady Gaga.
Oh, the stage outfits.
I think she's a phenomenal artist. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like you go there. So here's a perfect thing: Lady Gaga and Adele. People will think I'm nuts, right? Equal.
Okay.
One, you're going there, you're seeing her in a nice dress, and she's singing her ass off. The other one, you're going there, seeing her in some fucking space helmet, but is phenomenally a good artist.
Right.
So.
Right. I agree.
And then you have somebody that's not a good artist. I'm just busting balls in case my daughters listen. Taylor Swift.
Right.
You got the whole crowd.
Garbage artist.
Yeah. No, I think she's underrated. The kid's extremely talented. Right now,
is she gonna ruin Travis Kelce?
Travis Kelce overrated. Highly overrated.
I know you don't like him. I like his brother,
and I haven't for a long time.
Yeah.
And now he's the jab guy.
Yeah.
He's the Bud Light guy.
Yeah.
And he kneeled for the national anthem. Overrated.
Right. Yep. I'm trying to think. There was another that when you were saying Lady Gaga, Madonna, the originator.
Right.
For female acts.
Had a very good voice, had very good music, was
right.
very good.
But
then brought it over the top with the bullshit.
The cone tits and
right.
The prayer and
like
all
the
that.
Even Timberlake and what's her name at the Super Bowl.
Right.
Ripping the thing off, the wardrobe malfunction.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's that stuff where, like Michael Jackson was a performer, but he was a great singer too.
Right.
But what do you remember him as, a singer or a performer? Because when he was a little kid singing ABC,
right,
he was a singer.
Right.
Then he got older, he was a performer.
Right. And then could incorporate both.
Right. You know what I mean? So, like, I think Adele is a singer,
right.
Lady Gaga's a performer.
Right. Now,
probably equally talented.
If you were not, say, a Frank Sinatra fan,
right?
If you went to a Frank Sinatra show, you're going to see a guy sipping a scotch in a dress,
and just like kind of like Michael Bublé,
right?
Just singing, and that's
a
singer
and singing,
right? Frankie Valli, a performer,
correct?
They would dance. They'd have an orchestra behind it,
everything,
right? So there's your thing. There's almost your pick,
right?
Who's a singer? Who's a performer?
Right.
You know, like when you really get down to it, who's a better singer? Who's a better performer?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
And what class did you? That would be a good thing to have on the Elvis thing, because Elvis was a performer,
right?
You know what I mean? Because Elvis never just went up there with a pair of slacks on and a shirt and sang. It was the jumpsuits. It was elaborate. Right. It was all this stuff.
From the 50s, it was the dancing that set people fucking crazy.
Right. Now, did you watch the movie about what's his name? The guy you just said, the piano.
Elton John.
Elton John. Did you watch the movie about him?
No, there is one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't there the movie about him with Elton John, the kid that played in the Kingsman?
I did not. Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Rocket Man, it's called.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I haven't seen it, but
okay.
Yes, I do remember.
So what you kind of learn about the guy is he was so, I want to say, unconfident, not confident in his ability. Like he goes, who would want to hear me just sing at a piano? That's what made him start wearing all these fucking wild outfits and shit.
Yeah.
So it was somebody that was a very good singer that became a performer because he wasn't confident.
Right.
And that became his confidence. Or at least that's how, to me, it was
kinda
portrayed
like
in a movie.
Was able to hide behind the costume.
Right. Like Lady Gaga.
Do the show.
She wrote all these #1 hits for all these people before she ever did it for herself.
Right.
And then do you think there's like confidence when you're in a meat dress or a fucking this, like all this weird shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's probably that's the only way they feel comfortable.
Right.
Is be uncomfortable behind a mask, so to speak.
Now it's funny because you saw Miley Cyrus go through that stage where she was trying to like shock everybody.
Right. But and she's a phenomenal artist.
But I think the older she gets, the more you're going to see she's a singer.
Yes.
And not so much that outlandish performance bullshit that she tried.
Yeah, and if
people were kind of like aghast by it, and I think only because she was little Disney, Hannah Montana.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Hannah Montana turned into the chick that is in a bodysuit rubbing her snatch with a foam finger.
Yeah, or coming in naked on a wrecking ball.
Right.
But in her defense of all that dumb shit, like you're a child star, that's hard.
Oh yeah.
Your ego, like we talk about it because we're wrestling fans. You make 80,000 people explode when you come out.
Right.
How do you go back to, hey, Highland, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
You're just walking through the grocery store. After you have that, like it does something to your wires in your head and your body.
Yeah, it does. It rewires you. For
sure.
Right.
Right. So, but then you hear people talk like when she was on Jimmy Fallon and she did that. He goes, one take, hands down, the best artist ever come on, because they did that thing where they did like it looked like the old tic-tac-toe show. They had people singing, and she came in one take.
Wow.
And she's that good. They said she's just no real sound check, nothing. She gets in, she's that good. But people don't think of her that way because they think of all that crazy shit.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
So it's money. It's funny. That's a good conversation to have.
It is. It's a
performer versus singer.
Right.
Who's what? And Sinatra versus Frank Valli is a great one.
Yeah.
Adele and Lady Gaga is a great one.
Yes. Absolutely.
Man, we could have a showdown with that.
It could. In all honesty, the King of Pop and the King of Rock.
Right.
Elvis and Michael Jackson.
Both performers, but were they both good singers when they were younger before they became the performer?
I think Elvis became a better singer
later,
as his voice matured. Michael kind of stayed Michael.
But Michael, you got to think, man, like at that time frame when Michael Jackson did a lot of his, when he really blew up, that's when like VHS movies, Thriller was probably the best video to ever come out.
Dude, it was awesome.
Right? And nobody had done that at that time.
Right.
I think he kind of was like the threadbare, right? That got everybody
that theatrical aspect,
right? That everybody started shooting like they became mini movies.
Yeah,
like one of the longest ones. Remember November Rain?
Huge.
That thing was like a movie.
If that man never sings another note, it'll be too soon.
Yes,
he sounds so bad.
And he looks like Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, he's Mama Fratelli. 100%.
Yep,
guaranteed.
Yeah. So, but you know what I'm saying? So, like that's the thing. Like you said. Elvis became a better singer. Michael Jackson was a singer, but then when he was in his prime,
right,
the biggest part of that was being a performer.
Right. Prince.
It was you were forced to be a performer.
You did.
Because that's what the hot thing was at that time.
Yeah.
You know, your albums had to have, you know, the MTV music video. You had it when you went to a concert. Standing up there and singing anymore was no. You're the Super Bowl. Michael Jackson was probably the first mainstream Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl 27.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there, yeah, that's about right.
In California, remember? It was like Michael Jackson and the Pepsi's, the official halftime thing.
Right.
And they started. He came up on this scoreboard. He went down. He came up on this scoreboard. He went down. Then he stood out in the middle and he goes, "Don't start the music until I touch my sunglasses." And they show like a behind the scenes thing. And they're going, "Touch your glasses, Michael," because he's waiting so long. He goes, he knew just how long, like to make people wait.
Right.
And all he did was come up to his glasses and the crowd went nuts. And it was a long halftime because
awesome,
he pulled it down, right?
Yeah,
that's where the performance came in.
That's a true performer. Yeah.
Right.
Agreed. That was that sprung into something that I didn't expect, but that was awesome.
Yeah, but that's what's great about the show. It can take avenues off to different things.
Yep.
And that's what I missed for 3 months, dickhead. When I was over here just going with water wings, trying to keep my feet. And it just kept going just above the water. I'm dying.
Oh, shit.
You took some shit today over that, I heard.
Huh?
I heard you took some shit over that today.
Oh, yeah. Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I'm good though, dude. That was a good episode. See,
Very
that's
fun.
what conversation. See, I know, like we are opposite. Like I like different shit than you like.
Right.
We have like common ground, but to get to that conversation, like I don't have that conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
Like we feed off of each other in a good way, like that.
We've always ripped on each other, the Kenny Rogers and the Elvis. And
I always fuck with you over that,
and always going to be the Prince shit. But now, man, it's a fun episode. Had a great time.
Yeah. Well, I'm all set, man. You can bring us home.
All right, for Gmac, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaw Blitz podcast, and as always, take it easy.